Good morning, Paul. Today is August 4th, and here's the heads up briefing for today. In Australasia and the Pacific Islands, we covered 6 issues. In North Asia, 5 issues. In Southeast Asia, we covered 20 issues, along with 21 issues in South Asia and the major developments in the EMEA region.
Okay, excellent, Basil. Thanks. Go ahead. And I believe Uday should be back on Monday. He's just off doing some audit work. So thanks for filling in. Go ahead.
Yes, sure. In Australasia and the Pacific Islands, in Australia, the Sydney Anti-AUKUS Coalition will carry out a rally in Sydney, New South Wales on August 6th at 2 p.m. local time.
Okay, have we given the details of where the rallies will be to our clients? Because that's a pretty vague statement. Sydney's a big place.
Yes, sure, Paul. We did that during the roundup today.
Okay, thanks.
In China, according to prominent economist Yu Yongding, the weaponization of the US dollar by Washington is pushing developing countries to embrace the Chinese yuan.
Okay, thanks.
Moving over to Southeast Asia, in Thailand, House Speaker Wan Muhammad Nur Matha has rescheduled the upcoming parliamentary vote for a new prime minister, which was originally going to be held today. His decision was made shortly after the Constitutional Court announced a delay in its ruling on the rejection of the re-nomination of Move Forward Party leader Pita Limjaroenrat for the position of the Prime Minister.
Yeah, excellent. That was highly predictable, I think. It's not a judicial system that's operating independently like one would expect in a democracy. So I think this delay is being played out purposefully. Thanks. Go ahead.
In Timor-Leste, Prime Minister Xanana Gusmao declared that his country will not join the Association of Southeast Asian Nations due to concerns over military junta rule in some member states.
Okay, so let's just perhaps propose that those states may be Myanmar and Thailand. Okay, thank you.
Moving over to South Asia, in India, migrant workers in Gurugram, Haryana have begun leaving the city due to the fear of communal violence impacting factories, restaurants, households, and construction sites.
Okay, thank you.
In Pakistan, Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif yesterday announced that the National Assembly will be dissolved on August 9th.
Leading to?
The upcoming elections.
Have they announced a date?
Not yet, Paul. But I can get back to you on that as well.
Yeah, just give me your best read on that. And also I need to know exactly where those protests are in Sydney. I won't get to my email, so could you whack it on my WhatsApp or one of the WhatsApp groups, okay?
Okay, sure.
Internal groups, not client groups, okay?
Yep. Moving over to the EMEA region, concerning the ongoing tensions between Poland and Belarus, Poland will further increase its number of troops and allocate additional resources to protect its border in the face of the rising threat of the Wagner Group in Belarus.
This is actually quite, I can't say it any other way, it's hilarious, okay? People took the hook, line and sinker Wagner's invading Russia and is going to overturn Putin. I mean, that was just an absurdity. And then suddenly they're relocated and they're a threat to where there was a major concern on the Polish-Belarus border. I've gone on records for a long, long time now stating Russia didn't actually start this war. It was dilly-dallying, playing in the Ukraine, changes of government by the West, and now they're getting more than they bargained for. And unfortunately, same goes back to your weaponizing of the monetary funds is now creating separate use of not only the yuan, but a lot of other currencies being exchanged on a bilateral arrangement. And the whole bullying aspect that NATO, in the name of peace, has expanded all the way to the Russian border and now is setting up in Asia, all because of supposed threats when the Berlin Wall came down way back when. So it's kind of absurd that all these analysts have been going on about everything other than what's occurred historically. And everybody's been harping on these massive ending counterattacks from the Ukraine. The world is continuing to lap up propaganda smokescreen. There's obvious factual clarity there, the number of deaths in Ukraine for one. But at some point, I think we're going to see a sudden change And some of the better media services are going to actually start getting on board with the realities of what's occurring. And that is, at the moment, Russia is annihilating Ukraine. Yes, they're taking heavy losses. No, I'm not saying Putin's a good guy. No, I'm not saying the Russian system is perfect. But what it is a real absurdity that the world is not seeing what's actually occurring and reporting on it, because Ukraine is suffering massively and nobody's looking for a peaceful outcome. Go ahead.
Moving over to Israel, Paul, nationwide protests against the controversial judicial reforms will be held tomorrow. In Tel Aviv, protesters will gather at the Kaplan Street from around 5 p.m. local time, and in Jerusalem, demonstrators will gather outside Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's residence on Gaza Street.
Okay, excellent. Thank you.
Thanks, Paul.